So, we're in another Donald Trump-created crisis. It's been going on for about 10 days now. And unfortunately, the pundits, a lot of people I respect, from Robert Reich, who was the Treasury Secretary for, something Secretary for Clinton, to Robert K. Johnson, who has done a couple of books about Trump. They simply don't quite get what is going on. Reich sees it as a big money grab, sort of insider trading thing, or he doesn't really understand what it is. He said in his last thing on April 11th on MSNBC, he said it was a mystery to him why Trump was doing this. And Johnson, generally his theme is that Trump is an idiot, and everyone else has different opinions. But the simple fact of the matter is that Trump is a master conspiracy theorist, and he is using tariffs as one would use a conspiracy theory. Now, he's built his entire presidential campaign starting in 2011, and then going on through to about 2015 when he finally apologized to Obama. He built his name recognition on birtherism, a conspiracy theory. Then he moved into various other conspiracy theories that the people were invading from across the border, finally settling in on a stolen election as his final theme for his push for the 2020 election. And then he made that his platform. That you had to swear a fealty oath to believing that the election was stolen, even though there was no proof, and there were 60 cases where it was reviewed by the courts, and there was not a shred of evidence of anything more than a couple of ballots here or there. And the tariffs, I used to think that the stolen election conspiracy theory was going to go down in history as Trump's greatest, but he is a master conspiracy theorist, and he's hit upon tariffs as the perfect conspiracy theory because it has a certain amount of evidence. It has been used here and there, and it's an actual thing that can exist, and he's convinced his followers that this is a master trick to completely reverse the entire flow of what was a fabulous, actually, economy that recovered incredibly from COVID and was doing great and was beginning to lower interest rates were just from the massive injection of cash to prevent a collapse during COVID. And it was the envy of the world, as many people have said. But it's a perfect conspiracy theory, and it works. It does everything that Trump wants a conspiracy theory to do, which is galvanize attention, provide an alternative view, and he's using it as a type of a cudgel with which to just manipulate the entire world economy. And it works because his acolytes, quite a few of his people, and of course Peter Navarro, who's his economic advisor, who's himself a complete conspiracy theorist and based his entire notions, which are considered completely fringe, on a made-up economist that he gives the name of, I forget what it is, Ronnie Varro or something, but it's a manipulation of the letters in his last name, Navarro. And by using this notion that is sort of believable, and having trained his followers to believe in conspiracy theories and to see him as being a genius 3D chess player, he can use this notion that through tariffs, he can completely remake the economy to the benefit of blue-collar workers in America. And it turns out it is completely absurd because it takes a long time to build the factories, and these blue-collar workers won't even do the jobs making the widgets that are required, and then the tariffs are on, going 2, 3, 4 times on the different parts as they cross the border into Mexico and Canada. But it is, since he is a conspiracy theory expert, having studied with Roy Cohn, and Roy Cohn was a student of Joseph McCarthy, who himself was half German and was a student of Hitler. Trump is an expert in how conspiracy theory works, how to gauge them, how to see if they're getting traction, how to see if people are believing them. And once he does, and he's been testing tariffs for a long time. In fact, he's been working with tariffs, the notion of tariffs for 40 years approximately. And he knows when they have traction, when they're believable, and when he can create his false narrative that the deep state is out to get him, and they're denying the truth of these completely viable theories that are actually the miracle cure that we've been waiting for. When he has those elements, which are the sort of the magic sweet spot of a conspiracy theory, then he knows that he's got something he can work with, and he just jumps right in and he goes to it, and his complete rearranging, his loss of $8 trillion of market value, and this is the greatest thing that he's ever discovered, which is. Now, of course, his main purpose is not to make money, although that's a side product, and his main purpose is to simply control the narrative constantly, to create a feeling of a complete insanity and out of sorts, where the only answer is he has it, and that follows the 3 laws of conspiracy theories, which is things are not what they seem. A secret enemy is out to get you, which is the deep state, and only I can save you. That's always the third solution, the third law of a conspiracy theory, providing the solution. And in this case, the tariffs are just working fantastically. So he pours it on, he backs it off. In 90 days, he's going to be doing the same thing again. And through it, he's going to just be controlling the narrative every step of the way and just sort of tweaking the populace, both his opponents and his followers, to the maximum degree that he's an expert at doing by using conspiracy theories. And the tariffs is really going to prove to be one of his greatest conspiracy theories until he moves on to the next, which is going to be probably military, the need to invade Greenland because of a Russian threat, or to seize Panama because of a Chinese threat, or whatever it is. The thing about conspiracy theories is once you stick with one of them long enough, eventually you reach a point where it is going to be proven to be false, irrefutably proven, overwhelmingly by a catastrophic, in our case, is probably going to be a Great Recession, the second one in 15 years, or may even be a Great Depression again. And at that point, his followers will eventually wake up and think to themselves, well, maybe this tariff methodology of Trump is not functional and is, completely absurd, at which point he will again do the same distraction routine and jump onto his next conspiracy theory, which will be the need for a military conflict, which is an even bigger and more radical notion than manipulating the world economy. And this is his system, this is his genius, and his objective is to make the world safe, both for him eternally, perhaps as president running for another term, but certainly stay out of prison, and but in the end to make the world safe for his ilk, to do business, to act illegally, to act outside the law, to be authoritarian, if not fascist, and to dominate their realms in their own, in that manner of concocting these grand conspiracy theories and lies and role-playing and manipulating their fields, their businesses, and their situation. In his case, now it's the American economy. And whether it causes an incredible pain to other people, or a recession, or even a depression, is really of no concern to him. And of course, as people have noted, he's ruining the entire American enterprise, the entire entire liberal project of the last 80 years, which has proved to be fantastically profitable for America and its businesses, even though some businesses did lose out and some people did lose out. And the fact of the matter that they cannot understand and man up and be an adult about having a life transition, which, over history, economies transition and things change. Now, there is a certain argument to maintaining some factories closer at home than China. So during perhaps COVID or a world war, we will need bandages, we will need other equipment, various things that could easily be repositioned to Mexico. So some tariffs you do work in sort of a small degree as a limited instrument in given situations, applied with precision and knowledge and foresight. But this is not what Trump is doing. This is a grand conspiracy theory, and he is going to pursue it into the bitter end. And our only hope is that the Republicans wise up to this, and his MAGA followers finally wake up and vote in Democratic congressmen who can then impeach him, or he perhaps will simply dial it back on his own accord. But tariffs are just a standard conspiracy theory used to manipulate a situation with ideas that have some vague resonance in reality, sufficient for him to convince his followers, but really are nothing more than a means for manipulating the public and the economy in the United States and the world economy in most grandiose dumpster fire fashion, which is Trump's expertise that he's perfected over 40 years.